In 2025, King's Dominion conquered the skies with their newest roller coaster, Rapterra. This wing coaster is a long-awaited volcano replacement, and honestly, even though I never rode Volcano, I think this is a great replacement for it. It absolutely is a fantastic ride, and today I'm going to give my full review on it. Let's start off with the queue. The queue starts off in a short hallway, which is absolutely stuffed with references to old rides, including The Lost World, Smurf Mountain, Flight of Fear, and others. The queue is well themed and right in the middle of all the winding track, so you can get incredible views of the riders as they fly through the layout. There's unfortunately no shade at the moment, but I did notice they already have the poles for the shades up, but no actual shade yet. Now we get to the crater, what's left of Volcano, aka the stone-throwing hellhole. Once you get to the split point, you can pick a left or right side. Honestly, I think I prefer the left side due to how high you are on that wingover. But speaking of the wingover, the right side is good for that element too, because if you sit on an outside seat and look to the right during the element, you see nothing but the ground 145 feet below you. It's really a surreal feeling. Now let's move on to the station. The station is nicely themed, and it looks decently good. I think they definitely nailed the dig site feel. The operations were decently good, definitely better than the horrendous Twisted Timbers operations, and they seem to be pumping out trains decently quickly, with a few hiccups. Alright, let's get into this ride experience. When you dispatch, you'll hang a right and there's a surprisingly punchy launch. I was expecting something more like Copperhead Strike, but honestly, I was shocked. This launch is genuinely forceful. After the launch, you go into the first element, the 145-foot tall wingover. This element gives a very nice lateral floaty feeling as you cruise above the path and soar high above the guests. Looking to the right on the right wing, honestly it gave me memories of Mega Park where I made all those coasters soar above all the ant-sized guests. When you exit the wingover, you get to the dive loop. I didn't really notice I had that much hang time, but it's an okay element. After the dive loop, you go into the big, what's this called? Big swooping switch bank thing. Yeah, let's go with that. I'll be honest, this thing underwhelmed me. I heard so many good things about this element, like how you get airtime at the top, but I didn't really notice any airtime. This is probably the weakest element of the ride, honestly. After that, the wing slide. Another sort of weak element. This thing seriously underwhelmed me. I was kind of expecting at least some kind of airtime, sort of like the treble clef on Fury, but nope, no airtime at all, at least for me. The corkscrew didn't really do anything either, but the airtime hill gave some really nice floater. Probably the third best part of the ride behind the wingover and 360-degree Raptor roll. And finally, to end out the ride, the 360-degree Raptor roll. A very great end to a very good ride. The roll is nice and floaty and gives you some decent hang time. And then that's the end. Overall, the layout is very okay. I felt generally underwhelmed by most of the elements. I don't think I should say underwhelmed. More like the elements weren't very, pronounced, and I was really more just enjoying the speed and wind in my face. Now it's time to talk about the most polarizing part of this ride, the smoothness. I'll say this, if you want a smooth ride, sit anywhere but the back. My 3 rides were as followed. First one was left wing, row 4, outside seat. Second one was back row, right wing, outside seat. And the last one was row 3, left wing, outside seat. So I sat on the outside seat for all 3 of my rides, just to see how bad the roughness was. It's kind of complicated. So if you sit anywhere but the back, you'll get slight jostling, but nothing really noticeable. but the back row was by far the worst shake. It was especially bad in the valleys and absolutely brutal during the wing slide. Also, I obviously didn't ride in any of the inside seats, but I just wanted to see how rough the outside seats were. In terms of how I'd place this ride in the park lineup, I'd say number 5 would be Dominator, number 4 would be Rapterra, number 3 would be Twisted Timbers, and number 2 would be Pantherian, since I really can't say how it is now, since I haven't ridden it in 6 months, and it will be closed until summer, which, believe me, I have a lot of stuff to say about that too. And number 1 would be Grizzly, because it was just running absolutely insane with the absolute craziest ejector I've ever gotten on a ride ever. It was also the only ride in the park that had a semi-manageable line and actually had good operations, unlike Twisted Timbers. To wrap things up, overall, I think Rapterra is a very good addition to the park. It's intense, fast, and decently smooth if you sit anywhere but the back. I can easily see this becoming the most popular ride in the park. This is going to be a massive hit with the public, and since it is the volcano replacement, which used to be the most popular ride in the park, there's no doubt that Rapterra will get pretty heavy lines. Now to give this coaster a final score, I think I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Don't get me wrong, it is a very great ride. The only reason I'm knocking it down 2 points is because of the smoothness, which I get it's a wing coaster and wing coasters are usually bouncy, but this was just a little more bouncy than what I expected. Other than that, it's a great ride and a great fit for King's Dominion. And with that, this has been my review of Rapterra at King's Dominion. Thank you all for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and comment below what you think about Rapterra. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this ride too. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and I will see you next time.